How fast you run is a product of your stride length and your stride frequency. So if you want to get faster, you're going to have to increase either your stride length, your stride frequency, or both. So what is stride length? What is stride frequency? What factors influence them? And how do you work out your optimal stride length? Those are some of the questions we're going to be answering today, so keep watching. Hi guys, and welcome back to Fit with T. I hope you guys are good. So this is another video in my Sprint and ABC series, and today we're on the letter S and we're talking about stride length and stride frequency. So here's some quick maths for you guys. Stride length times stride frequency gives you your velocity. So what is stride length? In sprinting, we're actually talking about your step length, right? So from the time you toe off until the next foot touches down, that is what we're talking about when we say stride length. And then stride frequency is about how many of those steps you actually take in seconds. And you may have heard the word turnover, which is another way to describe that, or how quickly your legs actually turn, right? So when we sprint, we utilize both stride length and stride frequency in a way that's optimal to us. So we kind of like, imagine you have two pots, you've got a pot of stride length and you've got a pot of stride frequency. You kind of take from both pots as best as you can to make the best mix for you based on where you presently are, to make what's optimal for us, to give us the best speed, the best velocity that we can at the present place that we are. So based on our physical capabilities at the time, how we're able to coordinate our limbs, your height, your limb length, our strength, all of these factors, we kind of take from both of those pots in order to give us the best result or the fastest result possible. And so if you want to get faster, you want to kind of increase your stride length and increase your frequency in order to increase your outcome, to increase the velocity, right? However, the danger comes now, if we take too much from stride length, then what happens is that stride frequency goes down. Or if we take too much from stride frequency, then what happens is that stride length goes down, right? So like I said, it has to be optimal. You've got to try and find that nice sweet spot where taking the most from both of them that you can without hindering the other one. So taking as much as you can from stride length and as much as you can from stride frequency to give you the fastest result that you're looking for. And so it's going to be things like your strength, your power output, your ability to create force, your technique, your ground contact time. All of these kind of things are going to be factors that influence both your stride length and your stride frequency, right? And that's why we train, so that we can increase from one of those two pots. And like I said multiple times, in a way that's optimal, because if it's exaggerated on any point, or if you compensate too much on one side, then actually your outcome decreases, your velocity decreases, and that's not what you're looking for. So how can you work out your optimal stride length? Now, there's a couple of different formulas out there from research. I'm going to share two with you guys, one that is based on your leg length and one that's going to be based on your height. Okay, so let's start with how to work out your optimal stride length based on your height. The formula to work out optimal stride length based on your height, and if you run on a synthetic track like this one, then you're going to want to times your height in meters by 1.35. So for example, I'm 164 centimeters, so in meters that's 1.64. If I times 1.64 by 1.35, I get 2.21 meters. So based on my height, around 2.21 meters is my optimal stride length based on this formula, right? So again, guys, I encourage you just to use it as a guideline, because again, even though there's formulas, it's still going to be unique to you. So you can take it as a range, take both the leg length and the height and use it as a guideline. In training, when you are doing things like your wicket run, when you're doing your cone runs and stuff like that, you can play with it and time it and all this kind of stuff to see actually where you do find that best stride length. Are you overstriding to reach that, or are you able to maintain front side and continue to land with the foot underneath your center of mass, right? So that's one way to measure it. So 1.35 times your height in meters, that should give you a rough idea of what your optimal stride length is. Now, the other way to measure it is going to be by your leg length, and this one's going to differ based on whether you're male or female. Now, for this measurement, you're going from your greater trochanter, sorry if I said that wrong, down to the bottom of your foot. So you want to be barefooted as well, and you're going to measure that length, and based on that length, you're going to then times it by a number. So
when I was researching this, I actually found a range from as little as 2.1 times leg length to up to 2.7 times leg length. Younger athletes and female athletes tended to be towards the lower end of this range, and male athletes and more elite athletes tended to be towards the upper end of this range. Now, according to Tony Wells, the range is around 2.35 to 2.5 times the leg length. Again, women find themselves at the lower end of that range and men towards the upper end of that range. And according to Outperform on YouTube, they said a study also uses the same sort of numbers of 2.35 for women and 2.4 0.43 times leg length for men to find the optimal stride length.
Again, if I use myself as an example, my leg length from the bottom of my foot to my hip bone, so the greatest trochanter, was 0.85 in meters. If I times that by 2.35, I get 2 meters, right? So like I said, I can take these two numbers, the 2 meters and the 2.21 meters, and just use them as a range. So I can say my optimal stride length should be within the range of 2 meters to 2.21 meters. And so you can do a similar thing, or you can do it however you want, guys. So let me know in the comment section below, what is your optimal stride length or your optimal stride length range? But if you want to improve your stride length, then you're going to have to work on your front side mechanics. If you haven't seen it in this video, I encourage you guys to check that out. And if you want to improve your stride frequency, then improving your ground contact time is going to be one of those things that you want to improve. So if you haven't seen this video, make sure to check that out as well. And I'll see you guys on another Friday. Bye guys. And today we're on the letter, what letter are we on?